St. Patrick's Day to you and happy Monday. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. It was a pretty interesting one weather-wise. Saturday, we saw some pretty warm temperatures and a lot of wind. And then a lot of folks woke up to more snow on Sunday. It was a nice little surprise, although Joe did mention that could happen. So really shouldn't be surprised. But even though you let us know this was expected, I still woke up feeling kind of sad after having a day of 60s.
I know, it's like a tease, isn't it?
It is.
You know, I forgot to, I wore red, not green today. The thing is, if I go to the weather wall and wear green, then it's like you become invisible.
Which would be cool, but
yeah.
We'll let it slide this time.
Okay, try again next year.
Yep.
Yeah, it was an interesting weekend. And I don't know if you noticed, it was the first thing I noticed, Maya, when I got up Saturday morning. You looked outside and it was like hazy and it was all that dust from the Great Plains. We just had a weird weekend, really, weather-wise. But we'll take a look moving ahead. There's still a little more snow in our forecast. We'll kind of pinpoint when and how much a little later.
All right, thank you so much, Joe. Our top story tonight, a bit of a scary situation at a trailhead in Grand Traverse County on Friday. Take a look at this. This is where a Grand Traverse County man and woman were held hostage at gunpoint on Friday. Now, you're looking at video from Miller Creek Nature Reserve behind Aldi's grocery store. That's where this all happened. The sheriff's office says a 25-year-old Lewiston man held the couple at gunpoint. He then told the man he could leave, but said the woman had to stay. The woman could not go anywhere. The man ran away, and called 911. And within 5 minutes of placing that call, deputies arrested the Lewiston man.
I mean, we always hope that things are resolved as quickly as possible, but certainly in this case, the work between dispatch, receiving that information, getting it out to the deputies, and then that quick of a response is just a testament to the efficiency of that information coming through, getting processed and getting back out to the deputies, and their ability to get on scene quickly and make decisions quickly.
And Captain Brink says this is a situation that his deputies regularly train and prepare for. We are going to stay in Grand Traverse County for this next story. We have an update on a project that's going to cost right around $30 million. It is on schedule and on budget to transform the Boardman River as it winds through Traverse City. The Fish Pass project has been in the works for decades, but with every day, it's getting a little closer and closer to becoming a reality. Mark Gillette has where the project stands tonight.
If you're curious about what the bottom of a riverbed looks like, now's your chance.
The fact that this view of the now dry land where the Boardman River used to flow is going to be short-lived is a good thing for the Fish Pass project because it means they're making good progress.
Once we had shovels in the ground last spring, we have been on schedule and moving really, really well.
Moving so well, the view from nearby changes almost every day in a project that once used years as a timepiece.
This project has been decades in the making, so to hear the community excited about what we're doing and see some action on site brings us all a lot of joy.
Since last April, a methodical and massive transformation.
Fish Pass is a one-of-a-kind construction project. It's globally significant. What we figure out how to do here will be transferable to other rivers and watersheds all over the world, not just freshwater systems.
Removal of an outdated dam, addition of a new tool to protect the Great Lakes fishery.
So we need to create something that keeps the bad guys out, but gives us a chance to let the good guys like walleye, lake sturgeon, species that we'd love to see more of. We want to let them have a way to go upstream and spawn and be in the Great Lakes in the way they should be.
Over the next several months, work will wrap up on what's dry now. The barriers will be taken down and the water will return, while the process of what took place here will be repeated on the northern shore.
What we're seeing now on the southern hemisphere will be mostly the same look and feel in terms of construction on the northern side. The difference is that we were going to start building the fish research channel.
Crews are hard at work, and while other projects are questioning federal funds right now, Fish Pass may not face a similar hurdle.
We've been great stewards of the resources we have. We've been saving for this. And while construction costs did go up because of the pandemic and other delays, we planned for it and we're going to be in good shape. We've got contingency funds and the project will be done on schedule and as envisioned by the public.
And done is something that with every day and every accomplishment draws a little bit closer. An expected completion in early 2027. Supporters hope an instant benefit to our desired fish species, as well as a longer-term reward for the next generation of stewards of them.
My vision, my hope for this site is that there's going to be school buses pulling up behind me. Kids from all the public schools in northern Michigan will have a chance to come here and visit and learn about the fish that are supposed to be in our Great Lakes. And they'll get to be a part of that research, a part of that science, and that's really exciting to me.
That was Mark Shillette reporting. And again, the switch over from work being done on the southern shore to the northern shore is expected to take place this summer. Speaking of this summer, Interlochen Center for the Arts announced the next 4 shows of the summer 2025 Interlochen Arts Festival. And joining us live again today, wearing his green, of course, for St. Patrick's Day, is Rodney, the marketing manager for live events and hospitality at Interlochen. Rodney, thanks so much for being here on Unscripted again for another very exciting announcement.
Absolutely. This is thanks for having me. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And we have some great announcements this week. On July 10th this year, we're going to have Iron and Wine, and I'm with her, joining Interlochen for the Robin's Egg Tour with special guest Ken Pomeroy. This is going to be a good night of folk music, great songs such as Naked as We Come and Call My Name. This is just going to be a fun night of folk music and just really just hanging out in the beautiful summer that we have.
All right, and who's next?
Next, this is a mouthful. On July 15th, we have the infamous String Dusters and Leftover Salmon featuring special guests, Kitchen Dwellers. These are going to be, this night is a bluegrass must-see jam band vibe show. The infamous String Dusters, they certainly bring the heat, and then you have Leftover Salmon that's going to bring that funky energy. You're just going to be grooving all night long, dancing all night long, just having a really great time.
I'm really intrigued on this show just based on the names of all the different acts.
Absolutely, absolutely. They're amazing. All 3 acts are just amazing, fun, just fun to be around and fun to watch. They really get the crowd going.
And 2 down, 2 more to go.
2 more to go. This is a big one. On July 17th, we're going to have Ashley McBride, country sensation, powerhouse vocals, absolutely going to blow the audience away. You know, get ready to sing some of those songs. You know, she's came out with so many hits, but a couple of them that come to my mind is One Night Standards and A Little Dive Bar. This show is going to be a must-see country show for this summer.
And last but certainly not least,
and my favorite of the week is 2 Motown legends are going to be coming on the stage at Interlochen. We have the Temptations and the Four Tops. Absolute Motown royalty going to be here in Interlochen. Songs like My Girl and Reach Out and I'll Be There. Going to be dancing all night long. I know I'm going to be in the audience dancing all night long, singing along to all these hits.
And I have a feeling that all of these different shows are going to be pretty popular because, once again, there's a little something for everyone depending on what kind of music you like. So do these tickets go on sale this upcoming Friday?
Yes, at 10 o'clock on Friday. You can get the tickets at interlochen.org/tickets. And at 10 o'clock a.m. on Friday, set those alarms. Make sure you get these tickets because I think some of these are going to go real quick.
Is it pretty common for some of these shows to sell out?
Absolutely. We have one show that is very near to being sold out this year, Alison Krauss. And we have a handful of others that are doing really well. Tickets are selling really quick.
So it's best to get on it right now if you're interested in any of these 4 shows that we just talked about. Again, this Friday at 10 o'clock, tickets go on sale. We have much more information on our website, UpNorthLive.com as well. But Ronnie, I'm not sure how many different weeks we've had you on now, but do we know how many more announcements there still are for upcoming shows?
Yeah, so next week is going to be a quiet week with spring break. We are not announcing any acts next week, and then we have maybe 3 to 4 more weeks left of announcing acts.
So total, do you know how many shows will be at Interlochen this summer?
There's going to be over 30 shows at Interlochen this summer. It is an absolutely the largest summer we've done with bringing concerts here to Interlochen. It's going to be an epic summer for Interlochen.
And for those who maybe have missed our previous segments when we've had you on Unscripted, Ronnie, if people buy tickets, where does all of that money go?
All that money goes towards scholarships. So all the ticket purchases, all the revenue from the concessions, so the beer and wine patio, the grill, all that revenue is going to go right towards scholarships for students for these students to be able to pursue their arts and just move on from there to come to one of the, a world-class institution and academy for arts.
Awesome. And like you mentioned, we still have 3 or 4 more announcements to come. I'm just curious, obviously you can't tell us who they are, but do you know ahead of time the other acts already?
Absolutely. Yep. I do have a list, and I'll tell you what, I'm excited. I'm excited about the next upcoming concerts that we're having that we're going to be announcing here in the coming weeks.
So again, not next Monday. We'll take a break next Monday because of spring break, but then the following Monday we'll have the next announcement.
Absolutely. I'll be back here giving you guys the announcements.
All right. Well, we'll see you then. But before we let you go, anything else that you want to mention about these concerts?
One of the things I do want to mention, a lot of people are not aware of, you can really make a night of this. We do have hospitality. So we have a hotel as well as the ability to rent cabins right there on campus. So it can be steps away from the music. And to find that information, just go to interlochen.org, and you can look at the Stone Hotel, which is on campus, as well as some of the rental units.
Very cool. So perfect for everyone, no matter where you live around Northern Michigan. If you don't want to make that drive back to home right after the concert, you have a place you can stay right on campus.
Absolutely.
All right, Ronnie, thanks so much for joining us once again. We will see you in a couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to that next announcement. Now, we have one more story to share with you before we take a commercial break, and it's one that you have probably seen circulating around social media. It's kind of gone viral. It's from Sheboygan, making headlines across the state and even across the country. A man staying at a motel in Sheboygan left without his pet alligator. Yes, you did hear that right. He had a pet alligator, left it at the motel. We sent our Daniel Zivian to the motel room to get the very latest on this very interesting story.
I've been here 31 years and I've never had a call quite like this.
Police say a man was contracted to travel to different schools with exotic animals and had engagements last week at East Elementary and Bishop Baraga. Motel manager Gary says the man asked for a late Thursday checkout.
Friday we came in to clean it, me and my nephew. I always have them look under the beds and that for, garbage paper or anything like that.
Boys won't believe this. There's a little alligator in one of the rooms.
And I said, is it real? He goes, it moved.
When I first initially got the call, I was a little skeptical, but went to the call anyways and showed up and spoke with the owner of the hotel. Got a hold of animal control, notified them. They came back up. And then through our investigation, we were able to determine that the gentleman who owned the alligator was down in Detroit at this time.
Officers from the next shift waited hours for the owner to come back. The owner said the gator's name was Wally, like the old cartoon.
He reassured that the alligator was extremely friendly. He's actually owned the alligator for the last 10 or 11 years. And he asked the officers if they wanted to hold him, which they did.
That was Daniel Zivian reporting. The alligator looks like a Wally, doesn't he? I think we've all left something behind at a motel or hotel, but probably the first time someone left behind their pet alligator. All right, switching gears to our question of the day, not related to any of the stories that we just shared with you, but related to the brackets being out for March Madness. We want to know, who do you think will go further in the men's NCAA basketball tournament? Michigan State or Michigan? Scan the QR code on your screen right now. Looks like Michigan State has more votes, but hey, we'll check back in with those live results towards the end of the show and read some of your comments, and we'll see if things change. We know people are pretty split here in Michigan between their Michigan and Michigan State fandom. So interesting to see the final results a little later. But let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with our chief meteorologist, Joe Charlevoix. He'll have much more on your forecast for the upcoming week, including any chances for snow, warmer weather, everything that's in store. Next.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's turn things over to Joe, our chief meteorologist. And Joe, after a pretty weird weather weekend, what can we expect this upcoming week?
Yeah, not quite as much drastic changes as we had over the weekend with the dust storm we had. I mean, it was really dusty. We had real poor air quality on Saturday. All that dust blew in from the Great Plains. And then it was warm and then cold. And you mentioned that earlier, Maya. But we're not looking at as much rough weather, I think, this week. The only time, Thursday morning.
Okay.
So if you're going to call out sick to work Thursday, just give you a heads up.
There you go.
All right. You know what? It is Severe Weather Awareness Week here in Michigan. So we're doing severe weather safety tips, starting with tornado safety. And we do get asked this sometimes, especially on school visits. Where do you go? Okay, there's a tornado warning. There's a tornado coming. Where's the best place to go? And the best place would be your basement, for sure. That's the best spot. But otherwise, your hall, stairway, interior bathroom, or closet, those are the best places. You want to stay away from the walls, which could blow in. So that's kind of the best thing to do, and to cover yourself with blankets or a mattress for protection. Let's go to Houghton Lake. Remember this scene a week ago when it was all icy? I mean, just a few weeks ago, we had ice shanties out there. The lake opened up and pretty much just water now. A lot of melting over the weekend. We are looking at warmer weather Tuesday and Wednesday as we look at our three big things in weather across northern Michigan. 40s and 50s for daytime highs. Low pressure does arrive midweek. Our next system, that'll bring some rain, switching to snow late Wednesday into Thursday morning. And then spring does arrive early Thursday. If you're wondering the exact time, it'll be 5:01 in the morning on Thursday. Locally, we have 30s and 40s. Look how warm it is out in the plains. Lincoln, Nebraska, 84 right now. Actually, a warm day there. We're not going to get that warm, but we will see a little bit of warmer weather the next day or two. Here's tomorrow afternoon, 40s to around 50. Although I think it could be a little warmer in our southern counties. And then here's a look at Wednesday afternoon, 60s as far north as, almost Alpena and Traverse City. And then we cool back down on Thursday. Here's the look ahead at Stormcast. Quiet tonight, maybe a few flurries up north. Tomorrow, cloudy for the most part, kind of a cloudy day, but dry. And then low pressure arrives, showers Wednesday, mainly rain in the lower peninsula. But look at all that snow, the purple, including around Newberry in our viewing area, up toward Marquette, northern Wisconsin. And then we'll see that switch over to snow Thursday as low pressure passes through. And I am going to show you the snow totals. This is a couple days away, so this is liable to change depending on the track this system takes. But yeah, I mean, we're looking at a pretty healthy snowstorm across parts of the Upper Peninsula, including there around Marquette, Iron Mountain, into parts of north central Wisconsin. Some big time snow expected there. Extended forecast, there it is. So a little messy later Wednesday night into Thursday. Some snow, of course. Thursday is spring, quiet Friday. And if you're looking ahead to the weekend, we might see a couple snow showers. I don't think a big deal on Saturday with highs in the 30s.
All right, thanks so much, Joe. Let's take another quick break, but coming up in just a couple of minutes, we will bring in sports director Harrison Beebe. We have a lot to talk about when it comes to NCAA basketball. All of that straight ahead. Well, the NCAA men's basketball tournament bracket revealed yesterday. For more on that, let's bring in sports director Harrison Beebe live from the Content Center. And Harrison, what are you thinking about Michigan and Michigan State's first matchups?
Yeah, Maya, obviously that's the talk-worthy point, with that being your poll of the day topic. Who's going to make it farther at Michigan or Michigan State? Interesting that they're both in the same South region, so there is the potential that they could meet up down the line. I tell you what, as a 2 seed, Michigan State has a decent path to make a deep run. Michigan, I will attest with all the people who feel like they were poorly seeded. I think a 5 seed for a team that accomplished as much as they did is a little strange, but we could talk all day about decisions the committee made to leave certain teams in or out that have been frustrating. You and I already have off camera talked about that stuff, but let's go ahead and dive into the games that are coming up for later in the week. Let's start with the men's side, and I'm not going to start with Michigan State. I'm going to start with American University. That's where a Traverse City St. Francis alum, Wyatt Nausatis, will be playing with them in a play-in game Wednesday night against Mount St. Mary's. The winner of that will take on Duke on Friday. And then late Thursday night, Michigan's going to be taking on UC San Diego. That's 10 p.m. tip-off in that first-round game. And then if you want to watch the Spartans play, it's Friday, so it's a little easier, but that is also a 10 p.m. tip-off Friday night. MSU taking on Bryant in a 2:15 matchup. But, oh, wait, there's more. We've got the women's tournament coming up starting Friday as well, and we circled Ball State and Ole Miss, and that is because a Charlevoix alum, Elise Stuck, is with the Ball State Cardinals, and they'll be taking on Ole Miss in a game on Friday. And then we know Michigan's going to be awaiting their opponent in the women's tournament between Iowa State and Princeton on Friday as well. And Michigan State is going to be taking on Harvard on Saturday in the opener of that women's national tournament championship event. So the madness is here. Hopefully you've at least started your bracket or at least thought about it. All these picks for the men's side lock Thursday at noon. And I believe the women's picks, if you're doing an office pool or a school pool or with your friends, that'd be Friday at noon. So let the madness begin, Maya.
So just to confirm, based on strength of schedule, you think Michigan State will go farther than Michigan?
Based on the path, yes. But as we've all learned through multiple years of this tournament, you never can be quite sure. So neither outcome would honestly surprise me.
You never know. It's the beauty of March. All right, Harrison, thanks so much for joining us. We will take another look at those live results for our question of the day, which is, again, do you think Michigan or Michigan State will go further in the tournament, in just a couple of minutes.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Who do you think will go further in the men's NCAA basketball tournament, Michigan or Michigan State? As you can see, 64% of voters are saying Michigan State. On Facebook, Brian says, I don't care what anyone says. I'm rooting for my Wolverines all the way. Go blue. I'm seeing a lot of go green as well. And Jim says, probably State, but my brackets are usually slaughtered early. Me too, Jim. I can definitely relate to that. Well, thanks so much for joining us on Unscripted tonight. We will hopefully see you back here at 11 o'clock. Take care, everyone.